What is going on, Cigar Club family? Welcome to another podcast. Pew, we've done, I don't know, a lot of podcasts in a row here.
Yeah.
We're loving it.
It's great. I love it. We're together. I mean, perfect opportunity.
It's a beautiful thing. We're sitting out here in Mobile, Alabama at our headquarters, outside on the balcony, and we have some very exciting things in front of us. For those of you watching on YouTube, you'll see some manila envelopes.
Always a good sign.
It's my Australian accent. Envelopes of something that we've lost all of them.
Well, we had envelopes.
Here,
they are now gone.
I'll leave this on the edge of it. Thank you, producer Carly. Got it.
There we go.
Okay, we're back.
We ended this one real quick.
That could have ended it. Okay, we've got some test blends on the table. We've been talking a lot about blending experiences on the podcast, and the thing that you're looking forward to so much, which is smoking Puritos.
Yeah, bucket list item. Something I've always wanted to do. Break down the individual leaves and see what makes up a cigar. Every time you smoke a cigar, it's that curated experience already for you,
right.
But you don't get to see the process or taste the process that built up to that final product, and being able to just see, be able to pick out that leaf in the cigar, like, ooh, that creaminess, and then be able to pick that out with a Purito and know where that leaf and where you're getting that creaminess from. It's been something I've been wanting to do.
Right, absolutely, and myself included in that. It wasn't until I went down to Miami to blend Ocho that I got my first true Purito experience, which we have in front of us right here. If you guys haven't already, shameless plug.
That was easy.
Customs. Ocho is now shipping. If you haven't signed up for that subscription, that's how you can get this cigar. You can just go to cigarclub.com/customs. We'd love to have you as part of that membership and explore the world of blending cigars with a team of gringos.
Yeah, yeah. That's
the only way I can explain it. I mean,
that's the best way to explain
that's
it.
what we're doing. We're having a lot of fun with that. And what we have on the table today is Pew. I don't even think you've seen the Puritos yet.
No, I haven't seen them.
You haven't
even showcased it out of the bag.
We've got 4 different tobacco leaves rolled up into Puritos, which is essentially just one leaf that they just roll into a mini mangy looking cigar.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it's a way that you can taste each tobacco. And then we also have the finished blended cigar that utilizes all 4 of these Purito leaves.
Exactly what I wanted.
And you can see how that translates to a cigar and how the wrapper affects that. And maybe you'll even be able to pick out, that Viso that I smoked as a Purito, I loved it. I wish there was more of it in the cigar.
Yeah.
And this is kind of how they do it and how they prepare it for you when you walk into a factory. I never got this full experience until I went to Miami for the first customs, and then 3 weeks ago in the Dominican when I went to Tabacalera La Isla, which is where all these are from. Our boy Hostos. He's always making it happen. We're working on Cigar Club Customs Volume 4.
4.
Literally 4. That is what this blend is, a potential 4.
Okay.
And this is what happened when I walked in and everything that was on the table. So I think it's time we just start opening some stuff up.
Cigar.
I want
Purito first.
Yeah, we'll leave those things there and we'll get these Puritos going.
Okay. Oh, I get to see them for the first time. Unveiled. Look at
Here
those.
they are in all their glory.
Ooh. So I see we've got writing on them here. Is that standard? Is it normally written on the wrapper? Just
everyone
right
does a little different. Yeah, Puritos. Sometimes you see the white label on them. It was easiest just to grab a little
right on there.
And write on them. It's kind of like the Isla swag, I think.
Gotcha. And normally you're just going to probably 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, and then put them down and move on to the next one.
Yep. Gotcha. So we've got 4 different ones here that we're going to go through. This will work we can just work left to right. Although I'm not going to have you smoke the left one first. I'm going to have I'll put them in order. Okay. First one. Piloto Cubano Seco.
Okay.
So bottom of the plant. Least amount of sunlight. Probably will, I believe that's used as the binder in both of these cigar samples that we have here.
Okay.
But it's going to be, I'll let you experience it, but it's going to be kind of oaky, a little dry, semi-sweet. But really that's there for good burn quality. Check the aroma on that because you notice with binders, you get a lot of aroma from that leaf.
Okay. So that's where immediately cold draw sweet tea leaves is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Just that little sweetness. And so how old are these, did you say?
Like when were they wrapped?
Yeah.
They were made, probably 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago? Okay, so they've got a little bit of time on them.
Exactly. And since they're Puritos and they're single leaves, they like how when you get a full cigar put together, there's a lot of blend components. With this one, you don't have to worry as much about them coming together because it's all the same tobacco. So you can smoke those right away to really be able to taste what's going on there. Yeah, so get that sucker lit up, and I'm gonna get some of that aroma rolling.
A little footnote coming to you.
Super, almost grassy on the aroma right away.
Yeah, I have a hard time.
I almost thought for a
smoking.
second you were smoking weed. Maybe it's just because it looks like a joint, dude. Yeah,
mounted cavalry.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's always hard for me to pick up a footnote when I'm smoking a cigar. Obviously, I can pick up what everyone else is smoking, but when I'm personally smoking it, I don't notice it as much as, you know, when you're smoking the cigar. But get this burned up here and see how it is.
Yeah, and so something that's really fascinating, and a lot of you guys listening to this podcast, a lot of you guys watching this, you'll notice in how we do things at Cigar Club is our goal is always like to bring everyone with us, because for
Absolutely.
me, I feel like a kid in a candy shop. I feel like I'm still the same cigar geek that I was 2 years ago that wanted to do all these things, that now has the opportunity to. And how do we bring that to you guys? And a lot of you have asked about the blending process and how it works. And that's what this episode is all about.
Yeah, I want you to take me as if I was with you. Transport me, you walking the factory of La Isla, as you've got Puritos.
Yes.
Talk me through, like, so what did Hostos, you know, did he sit down with these in front of you, or, you know, what does that typically look like?
Yeah. First of all, just pretend I can't understand what I'm saying. And that I don't speak your language, and you're already transported to the factory.
Perfect.
And you think everyone is just like kind of laughing at you with everything you do, from how you cut your cigar to how you light it. No, with Hostos, and it's really cool because Hostos La Isla is a brand new factory, and he's only got a couple pairs of rollers, and he's starting to scale this, and it's him and a few other people on his staff in their offices, but rolled up to the factory. He took me right into a conference room where he had about 3 of each leaf, so 3 identical Puritos.
Wow.
All lined up. And then we had maybe 7 different blends, both in a Habano and a Maduro.
So like the finished product.
Done. Yeah, and then 4 of each of those.
Okay.
And I came in, I sat down, and he's like, "Hey, great idea with putting because I'd asked you before, can you put Puritos together? Because I feel like I always go into these blending sessions and I'm like, I have no idea what I don't like about the cigar, except to tell you maybe a taste I'm getting. But that's even subjective itself. Like if I say there's like this chocolate thing I'm not liking, but maybe to him it's caramel. Like how do we get on the same page?
Everyone's palate's different.
So we get on the same page with Puritos, right? And so the first thing you had me do is sit down and start going through these, just like you're doing right now, and start smoking one by one before we even dove into the blends, so that we could
So you're smoking individual leaves.
We have a standard level of what is what. So I can be like, I do not like the Piloto Cubano Seco in the cigar. I can taste it. It's too much. Can we back it down?
Because you just smoked it minutes before.
Right. So that's kind of step one. But tell me you're about a 1/4 inch in, which you should be getting most of your flavor, because you're not going to see change in this.
Yeah, there's going to be you're not transitioning.
But talk to me about what you're getting there. I'll get lit up with the sample I got.
All right. So immediately, I can tell it's got a little bit of strength to it. Which I expected. I mean, I expected this is going to have, being only 4 weeks old and just a piloto of it, a little bit of strength. Immediately, I don't get the sweetness that I got from the cold draw. I always love a cold draw. I always do a cold draw. I don't know if you do, but it's got a great creaminess to it. A little bit of pepper along the tongue. I can feel it just kind of sitting on it.
Would you say it's like rich, or would you say it's more on like the drier end of the spectrum?
Yeah, I would say rich.
Okay.
A little pepper on the retrohale as well. Nothing offensive. I could probably retro pretty much this whole thing.
Yep.
And it not be, it's not going to ruin the smoking experience. Some
Totally.
cigars you can only do once every 4 or 5 puffs. Good save.
I'm watching. Just leave them in the grooves, and I think we should be fine. Yeah, I found a lot of the similar things that you're saying. I didn't, and keep in mind, this was like we were talking about this earlier, right? Day like 4 of me being in the DR.
4 weeks later, and these were probably still.
They were right off the table. We had just smoked a bunch of stuff before, so walking in, my palate wasn't where I necessarily wanted it fully to be, which is why I took all these home.
Exactly.
So then I could smoke them on fresh palates. But yeah, to me, I found a subtle richness, but you'll find as we move through these that they're substantially more rich tobaccos.
Okay.
Which, speaking of, we should move into the next one.
What do we have next here?
So this is my personal favorite tobacco that I had at La Isla. Grab some water there, but this is the Dominican Corojo Viso. So Viso, for everyone listening that might not know the how a plant tobacco plant works. You've got at the very bottom seco leaves. Then as you work your way up the plant, it goes to viso and then ligero. And then at the very, very top, what we call medio tiempo, or what's been coined as medio tiempo, or triple ligero. It's the highest priming. So viso to me is like a really cool sweet spot because you get a lot of the richness and flavor from a ligero without as much strength that you would get out of a ligero. So one, you take a Corojo, which is my favorite seed varietal.
For sure.
Dominican Corojo, really cool because I don't have much experience with it. Then you add that it's a viso priming. And I'm over here like, how do I get... We're just like losing stuff left, right. That's right, because that one's, it's done. You get to the viso and it's like, man, I want that. Like, I really want to like this. And I want actually, if I do like it, can I just make the whole cigar a viso?
Are these shade, sun-grown?
They're all sun-grown.
They're all sun-grown? Okay.
Oh, that one is Dominican. Okay. None of these are wrapper leaves. So
okay.
I believe all of them are sun-grown.
So wrapper leaves tend to be shade?
Yep. Wrappers tend to be shade. Or if they're like in Ecuador, where a lot of wrapper leaf is made, there is just natural shade cover from the clouds. Uh-oh. Talk to me. Just talk to me. I've been talking too much. Give us your thoughts. He just lit up.
So just lit it up. First puff on it. Just an overwhelming experience, like completely different, where this one was peppery. And I'm going to say that this one, the first one that we smoked, was dry now. It's dry compared to this. So I think it's that richness that I thought I was having compared to this one.
Yep. Took
a step down.
Yep.
Oh, I could smoke a whole cigar of this.
Okay, right?
Just a puro of this, I'd be happy.
And it was me and you talking on a podcast a couple weeks ago about there's a cigar that's like predominantly viso in the filler.
Was that
the Psycho?
Yes. Yeah, that was the 7 Psycho Nicaragua.
And that's what made me start thinking, man, my favorite tobacco I smoked at Isla is this Corojo Viso.
Yeah.
Ooh. And maybe we could really ramp that up.
Mm-hmm. So I'm actually having a hard time distinguishing what I'm getting from this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a subtle sweetness. There's a little bit of cream to it, but I couldn't tell you specifically what the sweetness is, other than it's damn good.
Yes, sir.
Like, I could see where you take this as a starting point and then build a cigar around like that. So not, figure out whether that be your wrapper leaf first or binder, filler, wherever you're at, and then taking that and just constructing it around it.
No, absolutely. And I think that is what makes this process so fascinating. It's like you now have a legitimate starting point based on like facts.
Yeah, exactly. And I imagine everyone
I
starts
like
off
this and I
differently.
know what this tastes like. Give me more of this exactly.
Yeah.
Let's add another half leaf into the blend and pull out some of the Piloto Cubano. That's where we get into like the real game of starting to understand the blending process. And I say this all the time. I'm probably the farthest thing from like understanding how to blend a cigar still after like 2 years like working with these brands and figuring out how they do it. But it's experiences like this that take you deeper into it.
Absolutely.
And more of an actual real understanding.
And you're connected more to the cigar too. Like any cigar that you smoke now, you're going to be thinking, harking back onto these Puritos that you smoked and like just thinking like, ooh, what leaf is that I'm getting that flavor from?
Absolutely. So take another puff of that. And I'm gonna have you set it down and get.
I don't want to set it down.
And we're gonna move to the next one, mainly because I'm gonna cut. Because I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take a pull of it.
I wish everyone could smoke that.
Mm-hmm.
That is incredible. I mean, that's what I was looking for in this experience.
Yeah.
And we're only Purito number 2 in.
Right.
All right. So where are we going next?
Let's do. So we got two. We've got an HVA Ligero and a Habano Ligero. The HVA, I believe, is Nicaraguan, and the Habano is Dominican. So let's keep it Dominican and finish with the Nicaraguan.
Okay. Yeah.
I believe that's how it is.
I have some questions on. I don't know what HVA is. I don't know what that stands for.
Yeah, it's a seed varietal. I'm not 100% familiar with it though. I would need to do some more digging on it.
So what are we? All right. So you said this is a Habano Ligero from the Dominican Republic again. All right. Okay.
You know, you were just talking about, and I think it's kind of like an opportune time to talk about this. I wish we could do something that could bring people in to experience this and smell it and taste it exactly how we have it here. And we're legitimately working on a project like that where we'll be able to sell a 5-pack of cigars with 4 Puritos that are the makeup of the blend.
We need to do it.
We've got it kind of in the works. It's just started in the past couple of weeks since I got back from the DR. And now we're going to be able to share this experience. So I'm really excited about that. For those of you listening that want to experience this, just
You do.
stay tuned with us and follow along on Instagram and on our emails, and you'll know when that box drops. But we're going to be coming out with a box where we can share this experience with everybody. All right, so you got it lit up.
Can't go past that. How cool would it be? I don't know the feasibility of it. I'm going to put pressure on you. Okay. Almost do a CigarClub family helps blend a cigar, and we get everyone send out Puritos, and we get kind of everyone's favorite and see how we can blend a cigar around what people are enjoying.
That would be intense.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be difficult. I don't know the feasibility of it, but that'd be pretty cool.
We'll see. I like the idea. We'll see what we can do. I think at the bare minimum, we got to have people smoking these Puritos. I mean, we got Griff's over here on deck. He's going to be coming in.
He's just getting my footnote. Yeah, it does.
We're going to cut the tips, and you can come in and smoke each one. I really am curious what you think about them. Okay, so you're on. Actually, I think that would be really cool.
That would be cool.
We'll get you through these 4. We'll cut the tips.
And we'll get
Griff through these 4, see what he's tasting.
So the Habano Ligero, much more coating on the mouth. Like it almost an oil slick back of my tongue all around the side of my mouth.
Is there a noticeable strength that you're getting from that one?
I notice a lot when I retrohale on that one too.
Yeah.
And here it is.
A lot of strength.
Here it is.
Okay.
Cinnamon candy on the retro.
Yeah, buddy.
Like more than I've ever picked up, obviously, because I'm smoking the actual leaf itself. But like that's it. That's cinnamon candy.
I love that. Yeah. So I mean, immediately, and I'm smoking the Maduro version of these 4 Puritos, basically, with a San Andres wrapper on it. I'm smoking it going, I want more strength.
Oh my.
And I want more of that cinnamon body that I was getting a little bit in the Viso, and on, I guess it was that one, now that I think about it, like a red hot kind of situation.
That's exactly what it is. It's red hot.
I'm already thinking like, man, I already want to up the percentage of this one to be more of that and more of the Viso.
And immediately I'm thinking, okay, I have a cinnamon spice from here, and I had a sweetness cream on the other. Balancing those.
How do we do it?
We balance those 2 flavors, and then so you know whatever the ratio is, smoke it. I'm already thinking how this works, or seeing how this works. Smoke it. Ooh, a little too spicy, a little too much cinnamon. Let's maybe cut back a half a leaf on that and see where that tastes, and see if it's more balanced after that.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to make you put that one down now after you pull that. And get to this one because I want to keep your palate as fresh as I can.
Yeah, I'm taking water for anyone not watching on YouTube. Taking water in between here to keep that palate fresh. I always do that with a new cigar. I'll always go, especially if I'm trying to really discern the taste of it, water or seltzer every time. I won't go. I love pairing, as everyone knows by now, but I won't pair with a brand new cigar that I really want to break into and figure out what I'm tasting.
Likewise, and if you're sitting there trying to blend a cigar, whether it's with Puritos or you've done the whole Purito thing and you've now sent back different percentages you'd like the blends to be remade as, then you're sitting down with different options. Yeah, no, just straight up seltzer water. To me is the best way to kind of experience, or just water.
Yeah, and so this is HVA, which you said is a super.
I believe that's Nicaraguan. Ligero is the priming of that one. I'm sure you'll be able to tell me quickly which one of those was Nicaraguan, but we shall see. You know, and something that is so fascinating to me about this whole process, about working with brands and factories, specifically La Isla and Hostos and his team there, is this willingness to teach.
Nicaraguan.
There we go. There we go. Took one puff. Yep. One puff.
Yeah. I'm trying to think how I would perfectly describe Nicaraguan tobacco. Obviously, there's not just one thing, but it has that taste, and you just know it's Nicaraguan tobacco. I know we've talked before. You could tell me everything of the height and altitude that coffee was grown on.
Right.
So I'm smoking this now, start to be able to build that profile for just a Nicaraguan tobacco.
Totally. Yeah, so I probably once you get into your second or third puff here, you'll start to get more of those distinct flavors. I think it's really cool too to end with the Nicaraguan. I'm really glad.
We did.
The one.
Yeah. I agree.
Because now instead of it being a fourth Dominican Ligero that might start to blend in with the other ones you've smoked, there's some substantial difference here.
So on this one, I'm still getting a little bit of, it's a sweeter cinnamon. So whereas the other one I would say like it's ground cinnamon spice, or we called it the red hot cinnamon. Add more sweetness to a red hot, cinnamon candy, and that's what I'm getting from this initially.
Very cool. I'm getting all excited again, and I'm like, truck coming through, and I'm like, man, I really wish I had a super fresh palate when I was at La Isla to fully experience these. For when we were down there, it was a lot more like I was detecting more strength, and richness versus dryness was kind of the main things I was getting.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
even the smell.
Yeah.
Coming off of that, and that's something great that you can do too. We don't have the actual leaves to like hold out and burn.
Oh, okay.
Just lighting it a little longer than normal and just kind of holding it over it. It's still one leaf that you're smoking, right? Just rolled up. So if you want to know what the aroma of a specific one of these is, just freaking hold it under your nose. And
I bet that's really, yeah. So you've got the pre-rolled, you know, just the regular fermented leaf sitting in front of you and be able to pick that up.
Yeah, normally they just have a leaf unrolled in front of you, and that's what you're burning for checking the aroma and the fragrance.
And I know it's not the case. Did you roll these?
I did not.
Were yours any close to as good as these are? Because the draw on these is surprisingly really good.
I know.
I expected a really loose straw that was, you know, I was basically one puff and I'd finish half of it, but they actually have some dents to that.
I rolled one at La Aurora, which these aren't from. I had rolled one with Omar. He showed me how to roll Puritos. Hold on one second.
Hey, this is what we get for on site.
I know. He showed me how to roll Puritos, and then we both tried our hand in it and did them. I mean, they look, you know, ugly. They don't even look as good as these, but they still got the job, and we still. There's plenty of we were serving a Corojo Viso, a Dominican Corojo Viso. Okay. It could be very well a similar.
And if I'm
could be
correct,
the exact one. Like
a roller is a Bonchero, I believe, or is that? No, there's a couple names.
Well, a Bonchero would be one person in the pair that's doing all of the bunching, the filler, the binder, putting it in the molds, and then I don't know if the person that applies the wrapper and the cap is still considered a Bonchero or if they have a different title. But
and then I think that's right. Yeah. But a Bonchero makes me think that they're doing the binder and filler on it.
Totally.
All right. So this is still good coat. The sweetness is still there, and I'm still getting cinnamon and yeah.
I love that.
I want all of these. I don't think I'm going to share with Griff.
All right, so go one more here, and then I'm going to have you grab the full cigar that has the Habano 2000 on it.
All right, let's get that one here. Which one is
bottom
it?
One.
Bottom one?
Yep. And then as you do that, dude, do you want to get in on this? What? Dude, I'm fired up. Come on, dude.
Griff,
I'm going to cut him down. I'm going to cut him down.
Griff doesn't want to make his debut.
I don't know. Oh, that'd be a good cast. Cigar Club Customs. As you cut that one, could you also cut these down? Because I really want to try the two Ligeros, the Viso and the two Ligeros.
So as I reach for a cutter and have this awkward pause where I'm not in it, in the factory, how much would they make fun of me right now for needing a cutter?
Needing a cutter.
To get this cap off.
In Nicaragua, yes, they would be laughing their ass off at you. Shockingly, in the DR, everybody used a cutter. Like the first time we sat down at La Aurora with Manuel Iona, who's the master blender there, and he like whips out a cutter and starts cutting everything for me. And I'm like, you guys use those here? And he's like, see, what? Yeah, of course. And I'm like,
I wonder if that's like a culture, like that's surprising because I would assume they would have just been
maybe. I don't know. I was like, okay. Because I'm over there like, no, I want everybody to see. I'm using my fingers. Don't come at me. And yeah, exactly. I thought it was going to be the case, but everybody's using a cutter there.
All right, because I have the memory of a goldfish, apparently. What do I have here? And what's do you know the makeup of the blend? This is a Habano wrapper, you said?
So that's Habano 2000 wrapper. Filler components, Corojo 99 Viso. That Corojo 99 Viso. The HVA Ligero. The Habano Ligero. And I believe the Piloto Cubano is the binder.
Okay, so it's everything.
Those four,
gotcha.
Plus a Habano 2000 wrapper.
Excellent. I'm curious to see.
So, like, if you ripped off the wrapper, or like if you could smoke the first inch and then pull the wrapper off, it should all still stay together, and then you'd just be smoking these four Puritos, basically. So I'm gonna let you cut up, get toasted. Then once you start getting some flavor going, you can talk to see if you're pulling any heaviness out of these four tobaccos that we just went through.
Certainly. This wind is killing me.
You gotta get real close to it. Just torch it. And those probably have a month or 2 months of age on them. So they're not super fresh.
So immediately I pick up the cinnamon candy from, gosh, which one was it now? I believe
The Dominican Lajero?
yes, the Dominican Lajero, because it's more of that. It doesn't have the sweetness
Right.
that I had in the Nicaraguan Lajero.
I really gotta try this.
There's your cutter. Oh, he's throwing it on the ground, getting sloppy. So
What's on? He talked to me.
what did you originally start? Well, you were smoking a Maduro wrapper on this one.
Same blend.
Same blend. Okay. So let's get into, got about just a first light here. Massive cinnamon candy on this one. Like I said, it's more of the red hot cinnamon candy, not a sweetness that I was getting previously. Good retro, almost creamy on the retro, despite the spice on the actual draw itself.
Interesting. I just lit up this Purito again.
I want to know, what I'm curious about is, so I think it's amazing that a blender can take something fresh and know what that'll taste like, or have an idea of what that's going to taste like where we're smoking it now 4 or 5 weeks later, let alone the finished product that can take year, if not more, to sit, age, and then be released.
Yeah, I mean, that's a common theme and a question we've asked a lot throughout this podcast. A question we were asking Omar in the last episode is, how do you understand what this is going to come to and taste like? I really think, obviously, it's time and experience. I have this conversation with Carson Sereno a lot.
Okay.
He'll send me fresh cigars that they're working on, and I'll smoke it, and he'll be like, what do you think? And I'm like, that didn't really taste like much to me. He's like, no, dude, that one's going to be a banger. And I'm like, why? How do you know that? Like, to me, it doesn't taste like anything. Or I'm just getting, it's strong here, it's not strong here.
Yeah.
And it kind of leaves a smoky taste on my mouth.
Yeah.
Or he'll be like, good. He's like, that's a great place to start. He's like, some of these aren't going to leave a smoky taste in your mouth, even at being this fresh.
Really?
Some of these, it's going to be all strength. Some of these are going to be no strength. Start to use those to pinpoint and make note. Sit down, take your notes when you smoke them fresh. See how it translates in 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months, and just continue to go back to that and see, okay, cool. So next time I smoke a fresh cigar that I'm getting this kind of strength and this kind of mouthfeel, or maybe when I'm done blowing the smoke out, how does it leave my palate? I know, okay, in a couple of weeks, this is going to turn into a not so pleasant experience, or it's going to be like a good bitter, or it's going to be a good heavy mouthfeel like cream. That the first time I ever, I think, successfully decoded one was when we were in Nicaragua last year, and we smoked Algo Sincero for the first time. I wasn't getting specific flavors, but I got this, like, the first inch was like super spicy.
Okay.
And it's a Connecticut shade wrapper.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the spice, like a switch went off, left, gone. And it was just like smoking half and half cream.
Wow.
And I'm like,
wow.
I don't know what this turns into, but even if it turns into nothing other than this
is great.
I like the cigar. And it ended up turning into something that was way more nuanced, not as like on-off switch, but it ended up turning into a great cigar. So that was the first one that I kind of put those two pieces together. Yeah,
certainly. You could have handed me this cigar and said, this is a final unbanded product that's been, a mainstay of someone's line. You took the band off and I would have been, yeah, I can say it. For me, I would cut back. I would add more of the Viso in it. I want to dial back a little bit of that cinnamon candy because I think that's the over dominant tasting profile right now. It's delicious, and I know it's perfectly up your alley.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. I've offended Dave.
Dude, don't be an asshole.
All right, I'm off. Griff is now permanently taking my place. I want a little bit more of that creamy sweetness that I got with the Viso, and I think that would play really well off the cinnamon candy. I think it's a little dominant, but it could transition.
Right.
I'm curious to see how much this needs to sit for those transitions to come out, because this is still a relatively young cigar. From what normally gets released, the normal cigars you're buying in your brick and mortar.
Ooh, I got the Viso here. I agree with that. I'm really curious. I smoked that sample a week ago, maybe. And something I found in it, I think it was towards the end of the first third, beginning of the second third, it hit like this dead spot.
Okay. Like no flavor dead spot, or like it didn't
a little
burn?
Like smoky on the palate.
Okay.
A dead spot is in flavor. It still performed great.
Gotcha. So
and then coming back into it went through that for 5-10 minutes, and then it all came back full strength again, all the flavor. And I'm trying to figure out what was that dead spot.
Yeah, is that
what is that? Is that
the construction
still there too much in like that part of the blend?
Mm-hmm. because when they're making up the filler, the leaves are not evenly distributed, or are they?
No. So it's all
Okay.
different, right? So you could have, like, when I reach out to Hostess and say, hey, for blend 1H, what was the makeup of it? He'll go, and I don't know what this is. I'm just, giving us an example. Dominican Piloto Cubano, 10% filler.
Okay.
Ligero, 25%. And he'll give us percentage breakdown. So then we can be like, pull 5% out of Piloto Cubano, add 5% to the Viso. And that's how we can start to construct the blend to how we want the profile to be,
So
what we want dominant flavors to be.
A lot of times transitions can come from where the tobacco is placed within the roll itself.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Because, I mean, one, when you're placing tobacco, you're doing it for burn as well. Like, you don't want it to tunnel, you don't want it to canoe. So you can't like have too much of a, condensed area of Ligero because it doesn't burn as quickly because it's more wet, because it's got more oil, because it's a higher priming on the leaf. But you also don't want to, like, if you only surround it with Piloto Cubano, which is a seco, so it burns super fast and it's super dry, that's how you're going to get the canoeing. Whereas if you do the inverse, that's how you get the tunneling.
Gotcha.
Too much dry tobacco in the center and wet tobacco, higher priming tobacco around it. So I don't know how to do that, obviously, but
still process. Yeah.
And the one thing I'll say, every single Isla blend I've smoked has performed incredibly well. I haven't had any tunneling or canoeing issues with them.
Yeah, and I can't say this enough. I'm a huge construction person. We talked about this, I think, in the very first episode. Construction is almost everything to me anymore, at least as far as picking up a new cigar and trying it. And this, just a one-off, made a couple of them. Griff's getting in. Well, we're gonna have to hand him the mic, see what he likes. That's some great smoke coming off of that.
And then I'm going to try the Ligero and see if he tastes anything.
Yeah, I mean, this is fantastic.
I'm actually really curious what Griff thinks because he hasn't smoked anything all day. And then, like, push through your nose.
We got Billy Joel over here, though, with the Ray-Bans.
Oh, this is I don't want the Piloto Cubano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so...
Okay, HVA Ligero.
Now, you've smoked the Habano and the Maduro just recently. What's the Maduro wrapper doing to this versus what the Habano?
Yeah. To me, the Maduro wrapper is hiding a little bit of the filler that I really loved, that cinnamonness. I'm not getting it cutting through as much. It's more this kind of bitter dark chocolate pepper that I think is coming from the Mexican San Andreas wrapper.
Certainly.
And it's just a little more overpowering.
Yeah, I can, and that's kind of what I was picturing.
I have the other one. I have the other. There's another Maduro here that you can light up and go side by side on that. But perfect. I want you to get to the part and see if there's a dead spot that comes in the next like 5 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, when knowing the difference between usually what a Maduro and Habano is, I could see the Maduro taking it in a different direction than I think I want based off what I've had here. Like I said, I want that creaminess from that Viso coming out. And I think the Maduro would hide more Viso. If we were to add more Viso into that one, I think the Maduro would hide that, whereas the Habano, I think, lets that shine, or the Habano wrapper.
Yeah. Like, I'd even be curious putting a Dominican Corojo wrapper on it too, and just doubling down.
Can you read my brain? We can't be near each other anymore. We're separate sides. I'm going to cleanse my palate here and see if I can pick up on that dead spot you were mentioning.
This HVA Ligero, which is the Nicaraguan one, is so interesting. It's so much more earthy. And then the cinnamon sticks to your tongue.
Yeah.
I did when I first blew it out and even retroed it, I was getting a ton of it. And now
it comes up.
It's just sitting on my tongue.
One of the things
it's earthy and cinnamony. It's like if you put cinnamon in like soil.
One of the things that I learned when I was at Old Forester in 2019, we went up to a bourbon trail, was drinking the whiskey, like I normally would, but then afterwards breathing in. And after I breathed in, after, I'd already drank the whiskey, it completely added and changed what I was getting. And yes. I'm just kind of doing this one. So blowing out the smoke and then just breathing in without smoking the cigar again. And it really helps pick up on those flavors and brings out some different flavors that I didn't pick up while just blowing out smoke.
Yeah. And even that HVA, it wasn't until the third or fourth puff I took where I started to get it. Now it's an overwhelming cinnamon kind of earthy sensation that's on my tongue.
Interesting, because I got, if I recall, that's the one I got sweet. It was a sweeter cinnamon candy for me on that one, I believe.
Well, and also, I'm that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also maybe when I'm saying earth, I'm thinking more like soil. like this rich mineral
minerality. Yeah, so
almost.
okay, yeah.
Not that it's not sweet. I think it's sweet. It's definitely sweeter than the Viso, and I haven't had the Piloto Cubano in a minute, so I don't remember, but I'll bet it's sweeter than that. So there is still sweetness, but there's this minerality taste that tastes so much different than the Dominican tobacco.
Yeah. So first transition here, I've transitioned from the spice cinnamon candy to now the sweet cinnamon candy. So I haven't got that dead spot, but it's transitioned from the Dominican Ligero to the Nicaraguan Ligero that we were just talking about.
Very interesting.
But I want more Viso. Yeah,
more
I want more Viso on this.
Okay, cool. Also, for everybody listening, if you've made it to minute number 35,
it's 35 minutes already. Wow.
Of us just sitting here talking about seed varietals, thank you for hanging out and being a part of this. Like, you can go check this out on YouTube as well, so you can see us in person, like going through these and all these kind of random dead quiet spots where we're like both smoking, trying to grab the microphone.
You see ash, I'm just littered in ash from the wind, just blowing it all over me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Darn.
Absolutely. But thank you for sticking around to this part. Like we said earlier, we want to bring this experience to our Cigar Club family.
We have to put our brains together and figure out.
We're going to figure out a way to do it.
Absolutely.
And I think you guys are going to have a hell of a time. I think what I want to do too is get someone like Hostos on a Zoom and guide us through it.
Oh no.
Because I'm secondhand regurgitating.
You're a great teacher.
What I've learned though, and what I've absorbed. I'm sure I've been wrong on some things. Whoever's listening to this, like, this guy's an idiot, and that is not what a banchero means. And that is not how you keep a cigar from canoeing.
Yep.
I'm sorry. This is just what I'm recalling and what I'm learning and what I'm being told, and I'm trying my best to retell that, because I still, don't understand the full process of putting a cigar together.
Years.
But we're getting closer. Every single month we come out with some new product, whether it's a customs, whether it's an exclusive, with some brand that has taken us a step deeper into the cigar world, into cigar making. And that's the experience we want to share.
It's amazing, the generosity and the openness that these brands and master blenders and factory owners have really shown to us.
Absolutely.
The way that I think about it is everyone has learned from someone, and you have to start somewhere. And so it's almost passing that generational knowledge to someone who's not a part of their family, and really bringing us in and welcoming us and taking us along on the journey that they went through when they first started out. It's incredible. And I haven't had the experience that you've had being able to go to these factories yet, but just this alone is incredible, and is exactly what I thought it was going to be. And it's really cool.
That just gave me the chills. I'm glad it's exactly what you thought it was going to be, because a lot of times in cigars, things can be glamorized beyond what they actually are. We're smoking rolled up dried leaves.
Yeah. But just think about it. I mean, the work that went into this, from seed to what we're smoking here, was it 500 hands to
something like that, 300 to 500 hands.
When you're pulling it out of the box, and being able to get into that, and for this is us, right? This isn't anything else that's going to be outside or in a normal box. This is for the Cigar Club family.
If you could guess, and we'll get that answer from Hostos. I have two thoughts, and I won't remember both of them, but quickly to keep in your mind, if you could guess, what is the predominant filler tobacco in that cigar? Think about it.
Okay.
Secondly, I lit this up and was smoking it. I put it down. I smoked all the Puritos. Game changer. I wasn't tasting any of this before. I wasn't pulling it out like I am now. I'm tasting what I'm calling the minerality of that HVA Ligero. And it's predominant. The cinnamon is sticking to my tongue. There's this like just subtle, rich, kind of like molasses sweetness that I'm putting as the Viso.
Yep.
And that Corojo, the Viso and the Corojo Ligero are like very similar to me.
Okay.
And so I can't really depict what is what, but now I'm experiencing this cigar so differently, which is why we have to release this with all
you have
of
to
these
side by side with it. That would be amazing.
I hope that we're at the point by the time this podcast releases, and you guys will know, because I'll probably do an intro voiceover before the podcast, that this is actually a product you can go buy right now.
Yep.
Because I think we're a few weeks away from being able to make that happen.
For sure.
And now I'm getting even more inspired, because I wasn't liking this cigar initially. Now that I've smoked these,
crazy.
It's a different experience.
Absolutely. The first Piloto that I smoked, I'm not picking up any of that. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it could just be there for construction, overall flavor profile. it's not. I'm not getting it as much, so I'm going to guess that it's a very small percentage. Oh,
Sorry, Pew.
talking Ocho over here.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I saw Chris saying that. I didn't know if he didn't know where the Ochos were.
I would say this is, in the beginning, it was very much so the Dominican Ligero. On the transition, I'm getting more of the Nicaraguan Ligero. I think throughout it, we're having that Viso. And then the first one we smoked was
The Piloto Cubano?
Piloto Cubano. I think that's probably there for construction and overall balance. And a small percentage would be probably all throughout.
So your
would
number
be my
one
guess.
is?
The first third was primarily Dominican Ligero. And then I think it's transitioning down into the Nicaraguan Ligero.
And that's something I want to learn too. Because when they're layering this blend, all these components are in every third pretty much, for the most part.
Okay, yeah.
But how come, and I don't have the answer.
Why does it shine more?
How come I taste it more in the first third, but it's still in the second third, but I'm not tasting as much? Is it because, I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And
that's just a question. That's a question I don't have the answer to. Somebody listening
wait for
probably does.
Hostos or, yeah, absolutely.
For Hostos, but I don't know the answer. I'm really curious as to how that happens.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's not just, there's literally just these leaves in the first third. They're all throughout, but maybe the amount, I guess, ate your cigar on that one. The amount is going to be layered differently when they bunch it to really hone in with the kind of what they're looking for in that cigar.
Yeah, and can we just say these cigars are really good? Like we're really digging into them really specifically, but overall, if we're just sitting there like smoking this and enjoying it,
and
it's got full flavor. It's complex.
Absolutely. Like I said, you could put this in a box and put it in cello with a band on it, and it would sell great.
Yeah, it's a great cigar.
And they probably made 10, 15 of these.
Yeah,
that's incredible. Yeah, to be able to just take raw leaves that you've smoked. I imagine Hosto smoked these before. He may not. He may just know what these flavors are with these leaves that he's worked with for who knows how long, and just literally goes, all right, this is going to be what we're looking for. This is a starter, and then that starter's already a banger.
It really is an incredible place to start with cigars. I think this has been a really cool episode to experience this, for you to experience it for the first time too.
I've been looking forward to this. This one is I've been looking forward to the most since we started the idea of a podcast. And you said you brought me some Pilotos. I was like, dude, we have to do it on a podcast.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to smoke these in my backyard for no reason other than to enjoy it myself. We have to share, the knowledge that you've learned and really bring everyone along for the journey along with me on this one.
And the cool thing is we didn't have to take notes because we can just listen to this again.
That's true. That's true. Exactly.
So I don't feel stressed about not writing any of this down and now being out of Puritos.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Hostess will send us more if we need it. But we're going to keep smoking these. You got to try the Maduro one.
I do. I'm curious to see just how like a leaf changes it.
Yeah. And this is going to be the fourth customs. So we'll all smoke these samples. We'll have Hostess send us fresh ones with some tweaks. We'll lock it in, narrow it down, and we'll get this one moving into production and into your guys' hands this summer. This has just been a really cool experience to be a part of. For me, I was like just taking it all in 3 weeks ago and now being able to regurgitate it again.
I'm glad it's fresh.
Talk through it and understand what I'm tasting and being able to have a different perspective on every single thing. It's like, oh yeah, maybe I am getting that. Maybe this one has more sweetness. Maybe this one is more earthy. It's been really cool. So thank you guys for listening.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
And we didn't go over an hour for the first time ever, so this is great.
It's impressive.
People are still here, maybe.
Hopefully. No, they are, because we're giving them a little insight. I mean, this is literally pull the curtain back.
Yep.
The process that you did for Ocho and every other custom that's coming before this. This is
how
what
it happens.
This is behind the scenes.
Yeah, and it shows you too. Like we've only released one, and this is the fourth one that we're working on, because this is how much lead time you have to make these things happen, because you've got to let them sit. You've got to tweak the blends. You've got to work with a blender who's like, we'll go back and forth and have that tug of war to create a product that we can put customs logo on and say, we're proud of this.
Yeah.
This is what we think is a great cigar. Go enjoy it.
And dead spot.
Hit it?
I hit it.
What a way to go out.
Yeah. That's crazy though. I mean, it was everything. And then the last two puffs just completely dropped off. It just tastes like a slightly semi-sweet tobacco.
Yeah.
I mean,
almost like it's all piloto sitting right
it's
there.
just tobacco flavor.
Yeah.
Really the cinnamon's gone. The creaminess is gone. And that's weird because I don't ever have that. You don't have that in a normal manufactured
that's been
regular
done
release
and is
cigar.
ready to go.
Yeah,
you get that in testing blends.
You wouldn't think that there'd be a dead spot in tobacco flavor, but that's it completely.
Okay, I feel a little justified now, but it will come back in a second, and that's what's going to be the cool part. And then we have like 5 other different blends that Hostos gave us that we can go through. A couple that I'm actually leaning more towards than even this makeup. But anyway, really excited. We'll keep smoking these. This has been, I don't know, another great episode. This is episode 4?
4 or 5?
4 or 5, something like that.
But thank you, Dave. Like I said, this has been a bucket list, and
Yeah,
it's absolutely amazing to finally be able to cross that one off.
Yeah, and I'm glad our Cigar Club family could join us for this one. And we will have something for you guys soon where you can enjoy this literally in your hands, on your front porch, smoking through Puritos, smoking a 5-pack, and being a part of the blending experience. That's what Customs is all about. Like,
absolutely.
People that, like me, like you, like all of us, like all of our members, and people that don't have any business being in a factory.
All of you listening. There it is.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Like the video, subscribe, and follow us on Spotify, on Apple Music. And we will see you next Tuesday for another Cigar Club podcast. Peace.